and solid waste management, or waste management at large. In Nakuru County, we are happy that we have the Nakuru County Climate Change Act 2020 and the Waste Management Act 2020. Those that they are already laws that are appended by the governor. And these laws are calling for innovation, especially the Waste Management Act. It has a full clause that calls for innovation and technological advice on how we can manage our waste. Because if you look around within Nakuru County, according to a research done in 2017 that was known as Mott McDonald, it is shown that Nakuru County, in Nakuru town itself, we produce more than 250 tons of waste daily. And in the 250 tons, you have 60 to 70%, which is organic waste. Now, if you look at the organic waste, and most of us within the country, we don't have those composting, those recycling capabilities. So when we are in such an initiative, seeing young people and the great people of Nakuru County doing initiative towards reducing the waste that we take to our dam sites or to our disposal areas, gives us a lot of strength and hope to work even harder to appreciate the work of this team. I don't know if I'll be biased because one of the presentation that was done is Greencom is one of our key partners in terms of waste recycling, because we have given them the authority to collect waste in our markets. They do that in our market, open market in free area. They collect the waste, organic waste, and they help us because you all know that in Kenya, we have challenges with issues of having a disposal site. So the one that we have in London area, up there, by Greencom and other small recyclers, because we have other small recyclers that are doing it in their home-based organizations. They are helping us to reduce amount of waste that goes to our disposal site. And in return, they are helping us to combat the issue of climate change. You all know the issues associated with waste and climate change. And organic waste, maybe especially from the livestock and other things, they produce methane, which is a greenhouse gas that affects our environment. So when we see these technological advances and having people to walk the journey together, it is a privilege to Nakuru County, and I think that is an initiative that as a county we are going to work with, and going forward, I think we shall be in the forefront campaigning for this model. Again, in Nakuru County, we have a special model of waste collection. And I'm mentioning this because as I listened to the presentation, almost every group is touching on waste management. And when you touch on waste management, we have the policies that are dealing with waste management, and we have a blanket organization that deals with waste management. In Nakuru County, we have a different way of waste handling from other counties, because we have zoned our county into more than 60 zones of waste collections. And then after zoning, we have given private people, or we have done a public-private partnership, so that these people, they collect the waste, they do some sorting, recycling on their small scale issues, and then they take it to our designated disposal sites. And this organization is known as Nakuru Solid Waste Management Association. It is NASWAMA. In short, is NASWAMA, Nakuru Solid Waste Management Association. It is responsible for correcting. I heard someone presenting said that there is household waste collection. These are the people that do the household waste collection, apart from the CBDs of Nakuru Town, Molo Town, Naivasha, Gilgil, and the major towns within the county. Uh, having working with these private people, we have given the people the opportunity to see waste, not to see waste as waste, but to see waste as wealth, just like some of the groups are doing during those who are presented. They are converting waste to wealth, and that is where we are headed to. If I have gone through if you go through the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, you will see that the Living Lab is tackling five major sustainable development goals. One of the major one is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. That is goal number 9. Through these technological innovations and through maybe working together with these groups and helping them advance even in their day-to-day operations. As we are taking tea, I talked to one of the group and they said that they have gone to several trainings and they have understood that they can even go further and apply something, a certain fly known as green soldier fly, in even managing their waste from maybe their fishes and other inputs. So when we talk about industry and innovation, we are saying that we are going to convert waste into something that can be, something that is not seen as waste literally, but it is something that brings wealth and improves lives. The second goal is that of responsible consumption and production. When we are working with Nesoma, we try as much as possible to educate them on issue of waste management from the bottom. I don't know if I use the bottom up approach, but we always try to tell them when you go to collect waste in residential areas, educate the residents on responsible consumption and production, so that we can reduce waste from the source. We can reduce waste from the source. And that is our main objective as a county, to offer education, awareness creation on waste to wealth initiative. We are saying that it is no longer the issue of waste being waste. Waste now, if you go to developed countries, waste is a resource. And that is where we are headed to. And now this is a great initiative that we can have other people who we want to walk the journey together. Another one is climate action. If you look at waste, you cannot mention waste without mentioning climate change, because it has direct impact. They have direct correlation with climate change. And within Nakuru, I am happy that one of the group from Menengai is doing direct tree planting or trees. They are doing forestry management. And in that line, maybe within next month or this month, at the end of this month, we shall be having a policy, Nakuru County Forest and Tree Growing Model Policy, which is almost in the last stages within the county for formulation and enactment. And the last goal, that is goal number 17, which is the most important one. I have everyone presenting or saying we are having partners, these are our partners, that and that is our partners, is partnership to achieve the goal. The goal here is to have from our side is to have a clean and green city, or Nakuru County, a clean and green city. That is where we are headed for. And in that direction, we cannot go alone as a county. We must have partners, to all of us to work together to achieve that common goal. I think that the issue of SDGs, when you combine the climate action, responsible consumption, and no hunger, and finally no hunger, in terms of now agriculture, I know agriculture is well represented here, and goal number 2, it talks about no hunger. When we have people recycling waste, composting waste, one of the good result is that the composted waste is cheaper than the organic, the inorganic fertilizers that we go to purchase in other places. So at the end of the day, the farmer, the common mwananchi down to the ground will save a coin and another coin somewhere. And finally, because I've seen my time is almost up, it's just to say that the initiative, it is geared towards the main goal or the main aim of the county government of Nakuru of having a clean and green towns and a county at large. And above all, I would urge maybe in the near future, we can partner to educate our citizens on the importance of having such initiatives, such as using of composting manure, having fish ponds that are, fish pond is just not only a fish pond. We can have other activities correlating directly with that fish pond. So I think going forward, we are going to have an education day, maybe to our farmers. These groups can call their members. We do an education awareness, and going forward, I think we shall have achieved our goals, and Nakuru will be a great city. Thank you, but I'm almost through because I don't want to take a lot of time. I'm sure we are going to be engaging even further, even more and more. Thank you for the chance.
Thank you so much, Brother Kevin, for those remarks. We are going to be calling Brother Kevin later on to elaborate on the management of food market waste, which is a major issue in our urban centers. Let's give him a hand of applause for that presentation. Next program is Madam Florence Njeri. Products. Florence, are you in? Karibu. After they make the presentation, they will come we field some questions and try to get some input from the various organizations they represent with respect to their areas.
Is it good afternoon or morning? Still morning. Good morning. My name's Florence Njeri from Faulu Microfinance Bank, and I'm here to represent the Faulu Bank. Actually, don't mind my attire. We are launching our bank today. Hata nimewekwa tu hapa, niingie kidogo. So, in our bank, we have several products, which I'll briefly, I'll tell you briefly, then I'll leave my contact so that we can communicate. I'll start with the account, which is a normal account. For a normal account, it is a transactional account whereby you are free to deposit or withdraw your cash anytime that you want. And then normal account, it is an account that you can apply a loan with. We have Maisha account. For Maisha account, it is an account that it is a transactional account, and at the same time, it is an account whereby you deposit a certain premium. It is for life assurance. It also have an assurance whereby whenever you have maybe msiba, you get a benefit. So it depends with the premium that you deposit. We have a fixed deposit account. A fixed deposit account is whereby you fix your cash for whatever period you want, whereby you get a commission on expiry. Okay, I'll go to loans. We have several loans, and I will start with the first loan that we call Agribiz Kilimo loan. It is called Kilimo loan, Kilimo Bora loan. This is whereby we give loans to farmers who are farming horticultural or the shortest period crops, whereby when you apply for a loan and you have your crop in the farm, we will give you that loan, then you will pay the interest in the first 3 months. Are we together? You will pay the interest the first 3 months. Then after you harvest your crops, that's when you clear the loan. The other one is a retail loan, whereby we give loans to civil servants. The other one is an SME loan, whereby we give, those are from 500,000 and above. That is what we call the SME loan, whereby you give a security on application. We have a micro loan. A micro loan is a loan that we give from 50,000 to 500,000, and we don't ask for security on that. It is an unsecured loan. So this loan, the micro loan, you apply on chattels. Chattels are the security. The chattels are maybe the stock on your business, or the chattels from your home. We have other products like last expense. The last expense product is whereby you give a premium. The premium that you give, that is from 600 shillings annually, whereby you get a benefit in case you have death in your family. That the 600 shillings annually covers the member, 4 children who are below 18 years, and the spouse. But in case you want to add the premium, you can add the extended family, who is your parents or your in-laws. But on addition, you'll add a premium for each member. We have insurance. For insurance, we give insurance on motor vehicles, piki-piki, or the properties. You also have educational policy for the young parents, whereby you fix your cash, which is 3,000 minimum, and it matures for 5 years. And you can put for more than 1 kid. Thank you. I'll give my number kindly so that you can contact me later. I'm Florence, 0704 271 220. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give a hand to Madam Florence. Madam Florence, please, just a few questions for you. Kevin, please, before you, we know you are running another function, but we just want to ask 1 or 2 things from you to clarify from your end. And Brother Kevin as well. Karibu. Just take your seat, and then we'll be raising a few concerns. Karibu. Okay. One of the things with Brother Kevin on behalf of the County Director Environment, what are the policy incentives that encourage business engagement in the food market? What policy incentives do you have for participation in the food market waste management? Are there any policy incentives? Maybe I fill the 2, 3 items and then you pick them up. And then are there any pioneer initiatives of the Nakuru Living Lab? Are there pioneer initiatives of the Nakuru Living Lab that you can say are success stories? I think you mentioned a few, but you can just elaborate on that. for a business model in waste management. Pioneer initiative as a business model that you can be able to share with us. And what other opportunities would you suggest? What other opportunities would you suggest for food market waste management in Nakuru County? Maybe let me just quickly pick up on Florence so that you just answer in turn. Florence, you've told, basically you are dealing with the finances. Are there startup enterprises, startup agri-enterprises that you have financed under their success story, small SMEs that you have financed that are agri-enterprises that are a success story that you can share with us? And secondly, do you see an opportunity? Are there critical success factors with the financial products you have for the Nakuru Living Lab initiative? You've heard our presentation, you've seen what we're doing. Are there some factors you can see that could fit into your financing model? And are you already working with the Nakuru Living Lab initiatives, or some of the members that have presentation? Are you already working with financing models that you have? I think those three, and if there's one or two from the floor, would be most welcome. Kevin, you can.
Okay. The first one is on policy incentives. What incentives do we have within the county? Maybe on policy incentives, on waste, you specifically asked on waste, agricultural waste from our markets. Maybe one of the incentives that, or some of the incentives that we have within the county is that once we like the Greencom people, accessing the waste according to the waste policy, they are supposed to be paying the county, but I don't think we ask them to pay to access the market within the free area or any other market within the county, because we have been partnering with them. And in terms of incentives, maybe I didn't understand what you meant by incentives. Is it direct? Maybe you can tell me what you meant by incentives, kindly.
Direct or indirect could be tax breaks by the county, okay. Some facilitation, some environments that enables happen.
Yes, I'll get you now. In terms of, I won't concentrate on food, on agricultural waste from our markets alone, because I said we have an umbrella of waste service providers. And these waste service providers, when they go for the registration, because they have to be registered through NEMA, we do engage NEMA and offer them some trade-offs once in a while. We offer them trainings, like recently through the partnership with the county government, with the national government, the Ministry of Environment and Forestry and Environment. We have purchased and acquired shredders that we have given the Naswama group directly to manage. So when they get the waste from the county, they shred, they sell, and that money is not going to the county, it is their own. So that is a direct incentive. And also you have the indirect through trainings and other stuff. And even when we go to dispose their waste, because we have something known as the tipping charges. Tipping charges are the charges that you pay when you are disposing the waste at the disposal site. So if they are members of Naswama, we do some reduction here and there. and that gives people even more will. They are willing more to be involved in waste management. The other one is pioneer initiatives of Living Hub. I don't think we have been in pioneer in Living Hub, but I think we have been doing that without even Living Hub, because we have the NASWAMA. The NASWAMA, we have choreographed it not only to be collecting and transporting waste, but we have choreographed it to be also improving the environment. If you go to these places down there, you see some tree nurseries that are managed by NASWAMA themselves through our training, and now they invest. They even invest their own money to come up with tree nurseries, and during environmental days or during environmental events, these people are the ones who provide things like bottled water, snacks, tree seedlings. So we have, maybe we can advance now that we have the pioneer, the Living Hub, and even train them more so that their own small recycling plants can maybe be advanced even to recycle more waste, especially the bottles. Opportunities for food waste from agricultural market. I said within Nakuru, 60 to 70% of the waste collected is organic waste. And there has been a challenge, because even if we have organizations like Greencom and others that are doing recycling of the waste or composting to have organic manure, they are still doing it at maybe 5 to 10%. So it's still at the lower level. So the opportunity that I will say is that, as I concluded, say we need education to educate more people and have front runners like these people who are in this organization, front runners, to show the rest that it is possible, so that we can come up from 10% and up to 30, 40, going now to 70%. I think that is the major opportunity, because recently we had an organization that visited us in the office, and it wants to do a study to see if the waste within the county can be used to produce maybe energy, some sort of an energy. We are still because it's a new thing, so we are still talking and seeing if the results of the study are positive, then that is a great opportunity for technological advancement, and also maybe the heading towards green energy resources. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Kevin, and continue partnering with the Nakuru Living Lab to promote that. Nyumba Kumi model also for the environmental champions. That is something to build on. Thank you so much. Let's give him a hand for those.
And maybe before I conclude, you have mentioned about environmental champions. Now, within our departments, within the county now, because we have the County Climate Change Act, it has mainstreamed that we must have climate change champions within the department, so that each and every department can mainstream a climate change aspect in all their developments. You see? So we are headed to now having environmental champions.
Thank you so much. So, partners here have a partner in government that we can work with very closely. And you've seen how he has articulated those issues very well. So please, reach those offices, share ideas, and get an opportunity to engage even further. Thank you so much. Madam Florence.
Thank
Mambo
you.
ya pesa.
Yeah, like I told you earlier, I deal with finance. And we have, even though we have not collaborated with other farmers, we have given finances to other enterprises whereby they are enjoying our finance, like border people, Molo line. And I think for those who knows about the county border people, we've bought some buses for them. Number 2, you had asked how the Nakuru Living Lab, we can have a memorandum of association with you people, whereby even individuals can have an interest with it as an individual, whereby I know it will help you people. Number 3, we had other farmers who are called FSCs, Farmers Service Commission, whereby we have a memorandum of association with them, and we also give loans to them. And our loans have got a friendly interest, so I don't think I think it will be effective to your businesses.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Florence. But you are basically telling our partners here, if they came with a business proposal, with a business plan, you can be able to look at it and be able to finance. Because
yes,
as you've seen, most of them are engaged in a business enterprise of one kind or the other. Can they present that, and there's opportunity for financing without the very punitive, despite this increase in taxation, you can be able to assist them to be able to get financing to expand their enterprises.
Yes, we are able to finance few people, but what we ask is once a bank wants to give a loan, it doesn't give to a starting. So you give a proposal, yes, but you show that you have finance to start, then we come in.
Very good. So, Meskia, you already have something going, you already develop that business plan. She has given you your number, then the opportunities are limitless. Thank you so much, Madam Florence. We'll be coming. Thank you, President. Let's give another hand of applause for the. Next, I would like to invite a virtual presentation by Dr. Geoffrey Kamau, Building Sustainable Innovation Platforms. Dr. Geoffrey Kamau, Building Sustainable Innovation Platforms. And after that, we will also be having a virtual presentation from Mr. Mina, representing the Director of Fisheries Services. Dr. Kamau.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. I joined a little bit late, for which I apologize. I am actually in the field doing monitoring and evaluation of some projects. And so I am happy to be given this opportunity to do this presentation. I am going to do a verbal presentation. I don't have slides that I could share, but I'll try and be as precise as possible. As a way of introduction, my name is Geoffrey Kamau. I work as a research scientist with GARO, the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization. I'm based at the headquarters in Nairobi, and I coordinate agricultural innovation systems research in the organization. Just to brief, just to get a glimpse of what we are, who we are as GARO, we are a research organization dealing with livestock and crops, and our vision is excellence in agricultural and livestock research towards transformed livelihoods. And our mission is to conduct agricultural research through application of science, technology, and innovation to catalyze sustainable growth and development in agricultural and livestock product value chains. And we have a network of 16 research institutes spread out over the country. And these research institutes work with a network of 50 research centers, which again are spread out in the country. And 3 of our major research, let's say 2 of our major research institutes are based in Nakuru, and the third one, which is on plants. The ones that are in Nakuru are the Dairy Research Institute, Naivasha, the Beef Research Institute, Lanet, and then we have got a Food Crops Research Center, which is part of the Food Crops Research Institute, which is Joro. And then we have got some other smaller centers which now work with these research centers. These research centers, even though they are mandated to work on with specific research institutes, they also coordinate, or rather they also work on other aspects of research coordinated by institutes that are different from the ones that they fall under. And these ones are coordinated by probably a different research institute. What I mean is, in a place like Naivasha, which is a dairy research institute, we also may have research activities that are to do with poultry, others to do with crops, and so on. And the thing that I would like to say, or what I would like to share this morning, because we don't have much time to go into a lot of details, is that we are dealing with a situation in Kenya where we have a problem with food security that is closely linked with poverty, and which is known to be at like 46% nationwide. And this is caused by rapid population growth, low incomes, and rapid urbanization, and so on. Now, we find that in a situation like the one we are in, we are having a widening gap between consumption and production, such that consumption is higher than production. And that leads us to various measures that are not very desirable, but important, but necessary. And this has happened from way back from year 2006, probably and beyond, but the gap has been widening from 2006. And today, as we talk in 2021, that gap is continuing to widen. Now, what I would like to say about this model that has been embraced and that is being practiced in Nakuru through Egerton University, the Living Lab, is an important model in that it brings together different stakeholders in the agricultural sector to co-develop the different interventions that are available, and these interventions are now the innovations that we are talking about, and this is bound to help us towards improving the issues of food security, environmental conservation, and all that. And without bringing different stakeholders, in the past, researchers have been known to focus on technologies alone without really looking at who else is there who can work with the farmers. The farmers are key partners in this, and they are as well as those other stakeholders that we are talking about. Now, this is the same thing that we talk about when we talk of innovation systems, is that we are talking about all these stakeholders and the role that they play. One thing that is very important is that there is need for a mindset change so that all the actors who come in have an equal role. In the past, we have had this situation where, as researchers, as professionals, we look at farmers who are expected to receive what is coming from our different organizations, and we do not give them a chance to share whatever they have. And even if they share, there has been that tendency to ignore. And therefore, what we are talking about here is a model that will help us maybe advance from where we have been, from where we are up to a different level. Now, in terms of what is happening in the Living Lab, there is a chance to help to trigger transformation in the Kenyan food systems. However, there is need to be mindful of the fact that, unlike in the past, technical innovations cannot work alone. They have to work with the institutional and the organizational innovation that we talk about now. As when I joined, I found the last 3 presentations being made, and I was really excited to listen to what they have been able to do. In that, together with partners, they have been able to come up with improvements in what they have been doing. I also have had a chance to visit Wanyoro dairies and as well as the Joro one. And what I have seen is an opportunity to actually build and improve from one level to the other. One other thing that we have been facing in the past has been the issue of sustainability of whatever we start. And the reason for this has been the fact that when we go in and work with communities, there is this tendency to have the change agent maybe doing everything up to the end when we talk about handing over. And when that happens, then you cannot get sustainability. What we are advocating in our innovation systems research is this sustainability has to be built in right from the beginning. And how do we do this? Is by involving the community in whatever is happening right from the beginning. And one way of doing this is whenever we initiate an innovation platform, we set up subcommittees that deal with different issues in the platform. That way, you end up involving every member of the platform, and in that manner, there will be no gap when the project comes to an end, for example, or when the change agent has to move to another area. I can share a few cases of successful innovation platforms that we have been involved in together with other organizations. The first one that I would like to share is one that is in Nyeri, that is on onions, in the onion production of onions, where there were low yields of onions, there were low onion yields, and Caro, together with the Farm Concern International and other and the county government in Nyeri and other partners, got together and worked with onion farmers in Kieni, and by so doing, at the end of that process, we were able to improve onion yield from 3 to 14 tons per hectare, and the prices increased from 8 to 40 shillings, and markets were established and all that. Now, the other one is maize, a maize platform in Bugoma South, where there was an increase of maize yields from 8 to 16 bags per acre, and bean yields from 1 to 5 bags per acre. And that innovation platform, in the course of interacting with the members, they are now able to organize field days where they invite other farmers to come and see what they are doing with the innovations that they have developed, as well as other stakeholders. We also have another one, the third one on Gadam sorghum, which was in eastern and upper, in lower and upper eastern, where Gadam sorghum production was facing a challenge, and through working with partners, it was possible to improve Gadam sorghum yields and introduce cluster production, aggregation and warehousing receipt, and so on. And even contract farming is now is going on very well in that particular platform. Now, in terms of potential areas for partnership between Caro and the Living Lab through Egerton University, there is a lot of scope for partnership with Caro, in that we are talking of the same things, bringing partners together so that innovations can be taken to the next level. And so we have got things that we can share from Caro, experiences that we can share, much as we can have experiences that we can get from the Living Lab in Nakuru. And the issue of various parts of the country. Now, in innovation systems, we talk about the fact that innovations don't have to be new. They can be borrowed from another area and brought in and adjusted and customized to handle the issues that we have in the particular area. Finally, I would like to mention a few conditions that we need to think about as we talk about sustainability of this Living Lab. There is need for a mindset change. Like I mentioned earlier, there was this feeling in the past that professionals know more than the farmers, but the farmers, through their experience, also know things that the professionals can benefit from. That is very important. There is also the need for good facilitation within this Living Lab. Transparent leadership, I think that one has been a big problem in our country. And finally, that ownership by local stakeholders through involvement, through, for example, the subcommittees and other approaches, and creation of task teams. I think in brief, that's what I would like to say, and thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Presentation. Let's give Daktari one big hand. Haikuingia mzuri. One more. Thank you. Thank you so much, Daktari. You've actually answered most of the questions I had on this CalRO partnership, but maybe just one. Is there an institutional arrangement to work with partners like you've seen in the Nakuru Living Lab? Deliberate institutional arrangement in CalRO to work with the Nakuru Living Lab and like organizations. Daktari, if you are there. Daktari might have signed off, or is, yeah, Daktari, are you with us? There's something wrong with the sound, probably. Okay. So anyway, I think we really appreciate his articulated. CalRO is ready and is working with community organizations and is able to partner with the Nakuru Living Lab and be able to carry forward the research. I think if you listen to those innovation platforms that they have done, they are very, very good, and I think we can be able to partner with CalRO and be able to improve on our enterprises. Thank you so much. I would like to move on to the next presenter, and that is a representative of the director NEMA, and that is Mr. Mumina. This will also be a virtual presentation. If
Hello? Yes, I didn't get the question.
Is that Dr. Victoria there?
Yeah, I can hear now.
Oh, sorry. I was asking about the deliberate institutional arrangement by CalRO to partner or work with. You talked about sustainability, but is there a deliberate arrangement to work with organizations such as those that are in Nakuru Living Lab?
Yes, thank you for that question. Sorry, I think the sound got interfered with. I couldn't get that question. Now, we have got our the unit that I'm heading on innovation systems is one that can partner with you. And in CalRO, we talk about working with partners who are in the sector, and therefore that is something that we can arrange. And we have a department, a unit that deals with partnerships also. And so that is something that we can work out. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Daktari. I think the other questions you had basically very well articulated them, and our partners here can be able to get in touch with especially you in CalRO and help them on how to grow their enterprises. May I invite Mr. Mumina, if you are online, please, the time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, moderator of this session. And Good morning. From where I am, I think it is still morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope I am being heard. Good morning. Am I being heard?
Good morning.
Oh, great. Thank you. My name is Paul Mumina, and I represent the Kenya Fisheries Service, not NEMA. Please, moderator. And I'm representing our Director General, Mr. Daniel Mungai, who sends his apologies. He was not able to join us. He's engaged in another urgent matter that came up yesterday, and he needed to be there. Therefore, I will talk briefly, moderator, and if that is okay with you, after my presentation, I could pick a few questions, and then so that in 10 minutes or so, I could also be released so that I can attend something else. And if that is the case, let me first of all start by saying that the Kenya Fisheries Service is a government parastatal charged with the responsibility and mandate to conserve and manage fisheries resources and aquaculture. And we are based in Nairobi. We have regional presence throughout the country. And the issue we want to talk about today will be about innovations and involvement of youth in agribusiness and in particular aquaculture business. We all know that because of the reducing and building natural stocks in our natural waters like the Lake Victoria, Lake Naivasha, Lake Turkana, and even our Indian Ocean, the next frontier now has to be growth of fish farming, which we call aquaculture. It offers an alternative to bridge the gap of the demand and supply for fish and fish products. And therefore, the matter here we need to ask ourselves is, how can we involve the youth in aquaculture? And also better to understand that question is to probably understand the value chain of aquaculture. And aquaculture, that is fish farming, of course, starts with the preparation or construction of ponds, and then stocking of fingerlings, and then growing them, and then selling. It's a full value chain. And in all this, we have and we can have youth engaged, either in the construction of the ponds or the production of the fingerlings, that is the seed, or the production of the feeds, that is the feeds that we give to the fish, or growing, or even involved in the distribution of this. And in bid to do all this, we, as a service, we have engaged the young people, especially the learning institutions, where we have been able to select key representatives of the various regions in this country, where we have been able to train and also been able to extend these innovations. The two key that we normally do is the development of aquaponics in learning institutions. And this one we target secondary and tertiary institutions. And also we also train and also extend innovation on something we call a RAS, which is a recirculatory aquaculture system. And basically all these are geared towards improving and increasing the production of fish, especially in a smaller unit area. The other matter that we also collaborate well on the matter of production of feeds. As a country, we have a challenge. Many of our farmers have a challenge in accessing quality feeds. And one of the ways we could partner with this one will be to encourage the young people to consider venturing in production of locally produced fish feeds that will be cost effective to the farmers. And towards this, there's been an innovation that has been mentioned in your opening remarks and in the documentation about this Nakuru Living Lab, about the black soldier fly. And this is an interesting innovation that has come that is providing the highest ever known protein content of fish feeds. And we have young people that have been trained. We train them in our centers. Others are trained by private organizations about the production of quality fish feeds with locally available materials. I heard the officer on environment from Nakuru County talking about waste. Good news is that actually black soldier fly feeds on waste, and that could be a great opportunity and alternative to management of waste that the county produces. 250 tons daily is quite something, and probably that could be an avenue that we could look into. I would like maybe finally to say that, and this one I've already said in my earlier comment, that the challenges with farmers have faced in fish farming have got to do with marketing, have got to do with access to fingerlings and fish feeds, and these are opportunities that the young people could consider joining and venturing, because the market is already there. Everywhere I go, I have farmers who will ask me, where can I find cheaper fish feeds and that kind of a thing. Probably it's just a matter of connecting our young people with that value chain, and then we are able to see how that would be of help to them. The other thing that we do is that we greatly collaborate with our stakeholders, and it will be a great thing to collaborate with this Nakuru Living Lab, especially on training, on innovations. And although I do not understand much, if we could also consider supporting even farmer groups for, sorry, I don't know, there sounds to be some interruption, but I'm talking about training and giving capacity, building capacity for our farmer producers, especially if they're able even to use their locally available resources to produce fish feeds. And the other venture now we will do finally that we are considering doing, and we are doing this year, next year, will be formation of marketing platforms for our farmer producer organizations and even individuals that will help in the marketing of their produce. This way, when they are able to amalgamate together their produce, they are able, or they will be able to access maybe lucrative market. Because what happens with that, about this lucrative market is that they want a steady supply. And so when you have one farmer with 2 or 3 ponds, that farmer may not be able to supply, the bigger players. But when they come together, they are able to stagger their production, and they're able to give steady supply to even the high-end market. And ultimately, we hope the fish can be processed and even exported. I think, moderator, that is all I would want to say for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Momina. Thank you for that presentation. Let's give a hand to Mr. Momina for that presentation. Very clear presentation on fish management, fish production. Is it hot springs? Have you been in touch with the fisheries department? You've heard the opportunities are there. They provide the training, they provide the capacity building. And I think it's just for us to take the initiative and go out there and get the support. Thank you so much. He's talked about the partnerships, and look forward to be able to partner and grow our enterprises very well in those areas. So, Mr. Mina, I was just curious about fisheries area. There has been concern, especially in Nakuru County, about the issue of pollution of the rivers, and eventually the pollutants end up with the fish. I don't know what you are doing about that. Then, Nema.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Maybe I can respond to that. And it is actually a good thought that this living lab is actually being launched in Nakuru County. Probably Nakuru County could be one of the few counties in this country, Kenya, that is so blessed with so many natural resources. They can do capture and they can do aquaculture. It is truly food basket for this nation. And the lakes that are in Nakuru County, only Lake Naivasha has fishing activities. And because of other competing interests, we have found that there's a flourishing floriculture industry around Naivasha. And there has been those concerns about the discharge of waste. This one, I think we even as an organization, because we are also charged with the responsibility of research and managing data and collecting of catch assessment service, we have submitted our reports to our sister organization, NEMA, about the pollution, and we have seen a growing trend in heavy metals beyond the allowable concentrations, parts per million. And we know in the coming days, I hope this one will be addressed as a service. It's a mandate we have to borrow from the National Environment Management Authority on the management of pollution in that particular lake. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's give him a hand for that response. So the opportunities are there. Even government agencies are supporting, or the challenges on us. Sometimes we may complain that we are not going to seek out these services. They are willing to provide us the support, and so let's reach out. They are willing partners to help us on this. Thank you for that presentation. And now we would like to allow one of our guests from Agriculture Finance Corporation to make a brief. Maybe I give you some 5 minutes to make a presentation as we wait for another virtual presentation. Representative from AFC, if you are in.
Maybe Chair, before that one comes,
yes.
Please, I would request if I will be released from the meeting because I have something else that I need to attend.
Yes.
But it has been great pleasure. I've followed this meeting all through from 9 in the morning. But now, please, if I would be released, that would be good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for participating as well.
Thank you.
Representative, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joshua Akian from the Agricultural Finance Corporation. From the AFC, as we are popularly known, we finance farmers and more specifically agricultural projects. Our business basically is food production, food security, and we ensure that Kenya is well fed. So our business is the farmers' development. What we do with the farmers is that we finance their proposals and we go to them. Now, the big issue today is how we are related to Nakuru Living Lab and also environmental conservation and clean food. Now, AFC, I will not enter into what we do, because what we do actually at the farmers level is from primary production up to value addition. Now, those are all agricultural processes. We involve the farmers up to the time the food reaches your table. So at any point you are, please come to us. Any event you have, come to us for that one. Now, let us go to whatever is the key business today. In the key business today, AFC has been promoting innovation in agriculture. And innovation in agriculture, one of them nowadays is to move away from conventional agriculture into the new methods, which includes organic farming. We partner with youths, we partner with CBOs, which carry old and young people. We partner with women with programs which are aimed at ensuring that they have clean agriculture, especially the organic farming, where most of our export products are nowadays being tested for bad chemicals. And in this area, we have been promoting export market through organic farming. We have several engagements with you farmers, especially in our corporate social responsibility endeavors, where we have a hub in Baringo, we have another greening hub in Kerisho, and then there's another one in Narok. That is for the region, because we are centered in regions, and Nakuru is the Central Rift region, which covers Baringo up to Narok. Unfortunately for our county, our corporation has not identified a hub where it could do the greening system. In the policies of AFC, what it is doing to farmers on the issue of organic farming is that it mandates each and every branch. In Nakuru County, we have 3 branches. And the 3 branches, in any financial year, it has to engage in the activities of at least 4 groups. Then out of the 4 groups, it has to give a loan or money, especially the loan first, to at least 2. And then the others, it has to donate a thing or do something. And those ones are normally engrossed in our performance monitoring systems, because that one is how we can grow this. This is how we can start the youth in innovation and doing these things, including women. Now, in our products as well, in our products, we also have products that are mainly geared towards the green environment, where in each and every proposal, the proposals that we take as very key to our business is the ones that will be able to deal with innovation, and our innovations especially is in green agriculture. We finance, especially some of us here have noted 1 or 2 whom we have engaged, and if I can remember them, oh, this one's now nice. If I can remember them, we had them, and we did capacity building with them, because the basic thing also here that most of us who have been talking here is capacity building. AFC has been picking young graduates who are professionals in environmental management courses or waste management courses, and inputting them within their staff. Though not each and every branch has the same people, but they are put in different branches because of finances of logistics and all the rest, so that they fit into the greening process of greening of agriculture. Now, when you come to AFC, basically for you that will be coming later, my name is Joshua Achieng. I can be reached on Achieng, Achieng at agrifinance.org. My number is 722-311-269. And the branch also has its mail, that is AFC Nakuru at agrifinance.org. Both of them can reach me, and it can also reach the branch when I'm away. Thank you.
Let's give a hand to Bwana Achieng. Thank you so much for that information. We can seek financial support from AFC as well. And as he has said, they have a program to look for at least 4, and then they can be able to support 1. So let's be able to use those facilities as best as we can. Now I would like to invite the following partners to come forward and the seats here. We are going to have a session of very brief presentations from the following. From Inclusive Food Systems, Engineer Musa Njue, Green Energy Innovations, Bwana Cyrus Mbugwa, Consultant Circular Cities, Bwana David Ruhu, Aquaculture Entrepreneur Innovation, and then there is Dama Brahma, who is also going to be presenting. So please, if I've mentioned your name, come forward. And as they come, may I take this opportunity to recognize from Enterprise Support Program Trust. Welcome, a long-term friend, and thanks for picking up in that Joel Masobo. I can see Engineer Njue, Elizabeth Kamau, Madam Elizabeth. Bwana Cyrus Mbugwa, karibu. Okay, David Ruhu is not here. Virtual, that will be a virtual presentation. Dagmar Bremwa, did I get it right? And so we'll go ahead and give them, it was 5 minutes, we are running short of time. If you can take less, I'll be very happy. And just tell us a bit about what you're doing in relation to your inspirational innovation stories in relation to the Karibu. Just take note of if there's a question or two after they make their they will make their presentations, and then we'll raise a few observations after they've done.
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Kamau. I work for the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, the Kenya office. I am an agribusiness expert. For those who know, FAO is one of the UN organizations. We are the custodians of SDG 2, that's zero hunger, alongside other sub-components of all the other SDGs. Whatever is being discussed here today is actually looking at zero hunger, ensuring there is zero hunger for everybody. And as my Director General all the way in Rome would say, we're actually looking at better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better life for everybody. FAO as an organization, especially in Kenya, is promoting, we have what we call the country program framework, where we promote an enabling environment based on policy, evidence-based research, and this is one of our CPF's components. The second one is inclusive value chains, and this is where I belong. And inclusive value chain looks wholesomely at inclusive food systems, which again ties in with the third component, which is resilient food systems and livelihoods, which again ties in with what we are discussing today. Last but not least, we have natural resource management, which again is what most of the innovations here are looking at. Climate smart agriculture, regenerative agriculture, circular agriculture, whatever you want to call it. But we all know what it is that we are looking at, because this is what has failed us as we have looked at increasing production. We have forgotten that without natural resource management and governance, we might end up actually not producing anything at all. FAO Kenya is working in more than 12 counties. I think we have a small project on farm forestry facility in Nakuru. But what we are doing, especially on inclusive food systems, is what we are doing with the youth in Kiambu. What we do as an organization, we mobilize resources, work with donors, and with what we call the vulnerable groups. We are working in Kiambu with the youth in a project that looks at reducing migration of the youth to Nairobi. So this is a project that has been ongoing and is still on up to date. I think it's ending sometime this year. Secondly, we have a project, again, inclusivity for women. It is working in 3 counties, West Pokot, Kitui, and Laikipia, supported by the Korean government. And here again, we are looking at women and climate smart agriculture, conservation agriculture, trying to empower women. Because without their knowledge, without any empowerment, we know there is very little we can do as far as food systems are concerned. Last but not least is one very important component that we do as FAO, which has brought us into direct contact with Egerton University. And this is what we call the Refugee Integrated Socio-Economic Development Program. This is what we are doing in Turkana, and we are supporting the refugees and migrants. These are international migrants who live with us in this country, and we are hoping to integrate them through agricultural development, through agricultural and agribusiness development, and we are working with them, again supported by IKEA Foundation, on what we are calling the groundnut value chain. What are we doing with the groundnut value chain? Is making sure that the host community, these are the Turkana people, and the refugees that are in Kakuma and Kalobeyei, that is in Turkana, are integrated in producing this groundnut. They are the same ones who use the groundnut in what we call a ready-to-use food, the plum peanut. So what one of our private sector partners has decided to do is incorporate the host community, that's Turkana, and the refugees to contribute to the production of this particular component. Then we also have another 2 projects, the urban food systems in Kisumu and Nairobi. These are also pilots where we again look at the vulnerable, the urban poor and the rural poor. The urban and the rural linkages as far as inclusive food systems are concerned. And why are we doing all this? Because under the UN, we have something we call Leave No One Behind. So as we work with everybody in FAO, or rather with FAO and under FAO, we are making sure that we leave nobody behind. There are opportunities for you to work with us, for Nakuru as a county to work with us. Whatever we call our country program framework is coming to an end in 2022, which means we are already preparing for the next 5-year country program framework. If you have any ideas that you feel would help you, or rather you would work with FAO, we would work together, develop it, and have it in our country program framework, which is a strategic plan for the next 5 years, and work together towards an inclusive, resilient, and sustainable food system for Nakuru County and for Kenya as a country and for the world as a whole. Last but not least, there's something we are calling the UN Food Systems Summit. It's ongoing. They actually are planning the pre-summit anytime, I think, in this month. And in September, we are going to have the main one, led by the UN Director General, Guterres himself. And this one, I know the dialogues have already gone on. I don't know whether some of you have contributed. You must have prayed alone. I'm sure Nakuru, I don't know what regional block Nakuru falls under. But I'm sure some of you have contributed. If you're not and you feel you have an idea that you'd want to be shared, as far as the food summit, the food system summit is concerned, then you can reach out to us. And with those very many remarks, that's what FAO Kenya is doing about inclusive food systems. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Elizabeth, for those very good remarks. Leave no one behind. Nakuru, let us not here. The purpose of this kind of engagement is to get the contact, to get the direction, to get the information we need to be able to grow. So let's not let her go back to Nairobi without knowing how we can benefit from the service there. Once again, for presentation. Thank you. Now it is my pleasure to share word or two on what he has been doing with green energy innovations. Dr.
Thank you very much. As you've been told, my name is Musa Njue. I'm here wearing two caps. I'm with Egerton University from the Department of Agricultural Engineering. And also, I'm involved in the private sector. We have Texas Remittance, which cooperates very well with Egerton University. And the two are partners. So Egerton University, we are involved in research and generation of knowledge and innovations. In the private sector, Texas Limited, that's where we turn all the knowledge and innovations to what really the community needs. I was asked to talk about the projects which we have in terms of renewable energy. If we had more time, we will talk more because there are more innovations beyond renewable energy. And I'll ask the media to put I've only 4 slides, that's 4 minutes. The innovations, Nakuru Living Lab, please. Okay, I'll just give 2 or 3 innovations which we've made in cooperation with Egerton University, and these are being used by the community out there. One, we've been able to develop a solar milk cooler. We have 300 liters solar milk cooler. We have 500 liters solar milk cooler, and we have 1,000 liters solar milk cooler. We have 2 running. One, I was happy to see it from Wanyororo video. You saw the Texas solar milk cooler. That we developed with the cooperation with the Egerton University. We have another one, solar milk cooler. This is running in Isiolo. We have one in Isiolo being used by the community. The beauty is that once we install the systems, they are through maintenance cost because the solar energy is free. Very exciting is that what we do, we take the solar energy and turn it into ice. We make ice. Then you can use that ice for cooling your milk whenever it comes. So sometimes on Sunday, you can use Wednesday solar energy. That's exciting. That was hiyo ni ya Jumatano, so to speak. We've been able to do that. Then we moved ahead. Right now we have drying equipment. This was motivated by how do we dry our products which go to waste. And we say this, for maize, if you have 100 kilograms of maize, you have about 15 kilograms of maize cobs. The energy in just about a third of that, 5 kilos of maize cobs, is enough for that draw. Thank you very much for this. So I want to show the partnership. You see the rent circles. We have green, blue, and red. And one is university, the other one is industry. And then where they meet is the green. Nachesea Apple, that's where my field is. I'm playing at the industry and the university. Then we have the government coming in. And where it's red, that is Nakuru Living Lab, where we integrate the industry, the university, and the government. Then you'll have the Nakuru Living labs. Next. Next slide, please. Okay. This is Wanyororo solar milk cooler that is in the field. You saw that in the clip. It's working there. And it has only three things. The milk tank, the ice bank where we store the ice, and then we have the refrigeration system running on, being powered by solar energy. This is Wanyororo. Next. This is Isioro. These are real milk coolers on the ground. This is in Isioro. We're also taking care of camel milk. Doesn't go bad. We have the camels. So that is from outside. This is inside. Next. This is interesting. The extreme photo shows maize cobs burning. That's maize cob, almost blue flame. So we are able to burn the maize cobs, no smoke. And what we do when we burn the maize cobs, we are able to take away the heat, or almost 80% of that heat for drying whatever products. And it makes some noise. Go to the middle clip, you can play this. The middle, there. That is the sound of a dryer running. And you can see the maize cobs burning. This is working in Nakuru industrial area. It has capacity of drying flour. Someone is making animal feeds. You take the flour, mix with molasses, ferment, then dry. We are using this. It's giving 200 kilograms of flour per minute. You can click the extreme one. You also play. There we go. Oh no, go back, please. There, the top, yes. That is the dry. You can see the trays. This is taking 120 trays. So you load your material and put in. Oh, it's upside down, but don't worry. We use that to measure the airflow rate. We just hang a bag, and how far it is blown, we know how much air is going through. We don't need anemometers, but somehow it went upside down. Thank you. Next. Next. This is a water heater. We are using this. We are developing it now. It's for hot shower. When you have any waste, briquettes, you can take a very good hot shower. Chicken defeathering, those who are involved in the chicken industry, you need very hot water. You need very little firewood. Hard washing, of course. And then we have chicken brooding. Instead of putting the njiko in the brooder, we bring in hot water, which we warmed much earlier. If you click on the left, you'll see maize cobs burning without smoke, please. Oh, not yet. No, thank you yet. Okay, there. Oh. Something, but you can see, it's burning, but you can see no smoke on this end. These are maize cobs burning, no smoke. Let's click on the right. I hope it doesn't go up and down. Oh, it does. It's going upside down, but that's a water heater. So this water heater is for all those purposes. I was asked to select only 3, but there are more. So I'm around, we can interact, and you can get what Egerton University is doing together with the private sector. Thank you very much.
Terry, for that presentation. Let's give him another hand for those innovative technologies that are being used in the community. I'm sure we'll give you a few more questions about those cobs you're burning. Thank you. Next, may I invite Bwana Cyrus Mbugwa, consultant circular cities. Can you educate us about these circular cities? Karibu, Bwana Cyrus. And answer the question, is Nakuru a circular city yet? Becoming soon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like you've heard, my name is Cyrus Mbugwa. I'm an engineer by training, and a circular economy enthusiast. I don't like to call myself a specialist, but I love everything about the circular economy and sustainability. I can talk on and on and on about the circular economy, so I'll try as much as possible to be brief. And my area of today's topic will be now circular cities and how they build into a sustainable food system. So first we'll start by defining what is a circular city. Basically it is a city that embeds circular economy principles into all its functions to ensure that the urban system is regenerative, accessible, and abundant by design. The circular economy principles, there are three. Basically, it's to keep waste and pollution out of the system. The second one is to use renewable energy resources or renewable materials and try to keep them in the loop for as long as possible, thus maintaining them at their highest value. And the third principle is regenerating of natural systems. We are all dependent on the natural system, basically the natural capital, whatever we are doing, in whatever sector that we are doing. So basically, how does the circular city build into food systems? A circular city provides now an environment for the food system to be regenerative by nature, whereby we are able now to do uptake of regenerative agriculture within now an urban setting. The other thing is that the circular economy or the circular city concept allows us to adopt renewable energy sources. We've seen the presentations that have been given. Some organizations are adopting solar energy. We have a Syrian farm that is doing very well in terms of solar energy and use of geothermal power in the flour production. The other thing about circular cities and food systems is we all know as cities grow, the population grows. As the population grows, our agricultural land becomes restrictive. As agricultural lands become restrictive means we are losing that ability for the land to grow food or produce food. So in an urban system, you're able to do an urban farm. The urban farm, or can call it an urban farm, yes, an urban farm. There are ideas or there are initiatives around that. We have a system called a zip grow system. We're able to adapt it very well within an urban system. That will help now improve the food resilience within the urban center. The other thing is that it's able now to allow you to produce food irrespective of the season. So that's how more or less the circular cities concept fits into food systems. And how would now, the other thing is that we are one of the few cities around the world with an urban forest close to us, Menengai. There's a concept known as syntropic agroforestry, whereby you are managing the forest in a sustainable way, and they are still able now to make use of those natural resources to generate food for the community around or for the city. That has two benefits. One, we are able to produce foods within the city limit, thereby reducing greenhouse gas emissions from transport. The other advantage is that you're able to build a resilient food system by producing the food close to where it's consumed. We're also able to diversify the food production. This is now due to, we are not limited by the seasons. The other thing is that how does what we've come here to do relate to circular cities? So basically, I will define a living lab or an urban living lab as basically a space that allows for innovations in sustainability and circularity. And we all know cities as cradles and catalysts for circular change. This will help now an urban living lab or Nakuru living lab in several ways. One, we know there's a lot of population within cities. So I'll call it a ULL, Urban Living Lab, to be able to take advantage of the density in terms of the city's population, the business, material, and resource flows. We've had a lot of talk about waste. It will also help cities. Cities have the autonomy to make their own laws and policies. How many believe there are two policies or laws that have come into place? We have the noise pollution policy. How many think it has a role in food systems? Yes, the noise pollution policy. If you want to know more, come and see me. We have the EPR regulations that are currently ongoing. That has a lot to play also when it comes to the food systems. Circular cities, or a city basically is able to embed circular principles in its vision and strategy. We saw last month Nairobi launching their circular awareness campaign. As Nakuru, we have an opportunity to leapfrog, develop our own circular economy roadmap that covers multiple sectors, not only the food system sector. As you know, we are not dependent on, it's not isolated. We need to adopt more or less a systems thinking approach whereby we can see interventions across other sectors. The other thing that a city is able now to take advantage of is being able to communicate their circular vision and strategy, like what you are doing today, forums like this, having meetings, having innovation, summits, able now to communicate that. We've talked a lot about collaboration, and cities provide that nest for different stakeholders to collaborate and come and innovate around circular cities. I've had a lot of talk about waste management. How many believe NAWASCO have a role to play in food systems? NAWASCO. How many believe the Ministry of Transport or Trade have a role to play in food systems? How many believe that retail stores, the hospitality sector have a role to play in food systems? We've seen the hospitality sector has been hit hard by the pandemic, and it has more or less crippled that industry completely. So the innovations within food systems they're able to take advantage of that will allow them to reduce some of their costs. It will enable them to basically hedge some of the risks that are associated with things like the pandemic. The other thing is that we have the Big Four agenda, and the food systems framework has a lot to play when it comes to affordable housing. Can you imagine an agri-hub within a unit that is being made within a city? That now builds resilience in our food supply system for Nakuru County. When it comes to manufacturing, you are able now to do knowledge transfer between people who have been able to do successful initiatives. So we are able now to do local manufacturing that is now more or less creating jobs for the local people. When it comes to universal healthcare, by producing food closer to where it is consumed, you're able to lock in the nutritional value and the quantitative value of food. Thereby, you are helping more people to be healthy. And that now ends my presentation. And if you have any questions, I'll be around. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's give Bwana a hand. Thank you, Bwana Cyrus Mbugua, for that explanation. Of course, we'll be coming up with more questions on that circular concept. Thank you. May I now invite a virtual presentation by Bwana David Ruhiu, aquaculture entrepreneur and innovation. Bwana David, if you are logged on, the time is yours. be online. So we will move on to Dagma. Correct me if I got it right. Yes. Rumen's feeding innovation. I believe that is it. Karibu.
You can hear me? Yes, perfect. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dagmar Braamhaar. I'm from the Netherlands. And I'm in a collaboration with Attitude University. I am an animal scientist. For my PhD project, I will be studying circular food systems within Nakuru County. But during my master's, I also came to Kenya and to work with a diet formulation software, which is called Rumen 8. Actually, I also have some slides, but if this is a bit difficult, I will do it like this. Rumen 8 is a diet formulation software, and 2 years ago, we have been piloting it within Kenya and throughout Kenya. So we did it at the central area around Nairobi, but also in Meru, Nakuru, Eldoret, and Kitale. And back then, it was really a software for dairy cows. But nowadays, I think it's just for like 2 months, they also made another version, and this is also for beef cattle and for dual-purpose cows. Well, of course, there are different types of diet formulation softwares, but for this piloting phase, we picked Rumen 8, and that's for different reasons. And the first one is that it is in English. So, of course, that's really convenient for Kenyan people, but also for other people around the world and in East Africa. The second is that it is very user-friendly. It is using a traffic light approach. So, of course, we were visiting the farmers, advising them on how to balance their feeds, what to feed the animals. And via these traffic lights, we were able to show them if they were meeting the dietary requirements of the cows, if they were overfeeding them, or if they were under-supplementing them. Additionally, of course, we are here in Africa. The tool is developed in Australia, and it is a total different context. So the tool that we were using had to be able to be adjusted to the context over here. So we were able to use other equations to calculate the nutritional requirements of the cows. And for this, we used the NDF content, so the fibrous content of the feeds, because the feeds over here contain much more fiber compared to other places around the world, as Australia and Europe, etc. And of course, we have all these different feeds. So we had to have a feed library which showed all the feeds which are available over here. So we had the opportunity to create an East African feed library. And with this, we have now a feed library of around 230 feeds or feedstuffs that are available over here. So these are different types of fodders, concentrates, minerals, crop residues, etc., which are used in the dairy sector. Well, and all this information could be used while visiting the farms, because we really believe that if you want to formulate a ration for cows, a diet for cows, that you have to go to the farm. It is not possible to sit behind your laptop, sit behind your desk, call the farmer, and inquire about what they are doing. You have to go to the farm. You have to see the cows. In what type of body condition score are they? Are they healthy, or are they having diseases? You have to be able to check the type of feeds that they are giving the animals, check the quality, smell at them. Are there any molds? What can affect the feed intake of the animal? But also look at the water quality. Is it nice and clean water? Will the animals be happy to drink this water, or will they be running away? And also the management. What type of management is available at the farm? How much knowledge do they have about feeding the animals? How easy is it to source for certain products, etc., etc. So this was all the information during our piloting phase and during our farm visits that we were collecting. Well, after the collection of all this information, that was the moment that we said, okay, now we can sit down, we take our laptop, we take this diet formulation software, and we put in all the information that we have collected. But with this, it is really important to have farm records. So know the milk production of your cows, know what your herd is on average is producing, know the quantities that you are feeding your animals. because often, it's a pity that I don't have the presentation, otherwise I could have shown you. But with these traffic lights, we could often show the farmers that they are giving the animals too much feed. They are giving the animals too much bomber oats hay, for example, which is way too fibrous. Animals are not able to finish their feeds. And that also means that often they lack protein intake. And of course, dairy cows, they need the protein to produce the quantities of milk that you want them to produce. If you're feeding them too much energy and too little protein, they will only gain weight and you will not reach the potential or not reach the yield where you're aiming for. So that was the beauty of this tool, that it is really visual. You can really show the farmers what is happening on the farm, where do you have to improve. Well, this tool is of course how to give you a balanced ration and improve your milk production, but the other part is also to improve the profitability of the farm. So to improve the margin above feed costs of the farm, because at the end, of course, that is what's in there for the farmer itself. Well, we have been piloting this tool for 1 year, as said, throughout Kenya. And well, we had quite some good results. And of course, this is mainly for the early lactators. Early lactation cows can improve their milk production much better than the cows who are in late lactation. They are drying down, so, well, you can't increase a lot. But of all the farms that we have been visiting, we almost increased 7.5 liters per cow per day for the cows in early lactation. For mid lactation was around 4 or 5 liters. And on average, for the whole herd, it was 3.5 liters per cow per day. So of course, that is quite an improve. But of course, it is important to stick to the diet that we recommended and give it time. Animals need to adapt to the new diet. You can't expect to see already an improve the next day. It takes a couple of weeks. But well, this is what I wanted to tell you about Rumen 8. If you have any questions, of course, come to me and ask them during the break. And I love to answer them. Asante sana.
Another hand to Brahma for that presentation. Thank you for the information on Roman 8, and I think more information needs. Now that she's here, she can explain how it works. Is it for the extension agent, or how does it work? And how can the smallholder farmer be able to benefit from this? And our partners here, quite a number are already in the dairy sector. There's an opportunity to use some of these new technologies, new innovations to improve practice. May I take this opportunity now to invite Professor Paul Kimurto to make his presentation on, that's a virtual presentation. Professor, welcome. Professor Kimurto, can you hear us? The time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ivy, for this time. I'm really, my apologies, because I am actually joining you from the field. I'm in Taita. So I may have a network problem, but I'll try as much as possible to be very brief. My name is Professor Paul Kimurto, as you can see on the program. I am working in the Faculty of Agriculture at Egerton University, but currently I'm overseeing the Directorate of Agroscience part. This is one of the projects that is in research, looking at possibilities of commercializing products from research, especially research products that can be commercialized. So I will give 3 examples, which have already been. Hello, can you still hear me? Hello? Dr. Udoto.
Continue, Professor, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes.
You can hear me? Yes, yes, sorry. So I was saying the project has been almost 10 years now, trying to establish how we can link our products for commercialization with the industry. And I want to just use 3 examples, which have already been mentioned. One is on success on the commercialization of dryland legumes and cereals through breeding programs in the crop science department. This is where we have developed very good varieties for beans, chickpeas, and other legumes, including the groundnuts that Elizabeth from FAO mentioned. And these products have gone into commercialization, and they are part of the food systems within Nakuru County. We started from Nakuru County almost 6-7 years ago, and they are part of the inclusive food systems because the crops have got good nutrition, they have good traits like early maturity.
We're losing you, Professor.
Best
Professor, we've lost you. You may want to stop where you are on the hill, somewhere. Like somewhere on the hills near a baobab tree in Taita. Okay, unfortunately, we seem to have lost Professor. It's a challenge. It becomes a moment. Okay. We have lost you.
Nutritive components of the
Professor, we can't hear you properly. Maybe can you come back at a later point so that we progress, and then you can just get in touch with us, and then we'll organize some slot for you. Thank you. Okay. These are technical challenges we have to live with under this situation. I think let's field the questions for the panelists so that we can be able to move to the next. And can we questions for our members here? Microphone. As the microphone moves, may I take the opportunity to recognize the TC, Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. With us here, Mr. Kibet Maina, karibu sana. Thank you for sparing time to join us here, talking about the Nakuru living, and we're glad you've been able to join us. Karibu. Okay. Any questions for Madam Elizabeth on the programs they're running for inclusive food systems? FAO is doing a lot. You heard they were working with the refugees all the way down to making sure that nobody's left behind. No one is left behind. The question is, as partners, have we been able to link up, or can we be able to find opportunity to work with FAO? Okay, maybe, okay, I have a question here from Thomas. Microphone.
Thank you very much, panelists, for the stimulating presentations. I only have one question that goes to Madam Elizabeth from FAO. From what have been presented by the innovation cases here, what do you think you could be able to zero in on and be able to help upscale and advance from the FAO perspective?
Thank you. Madam Elizabeth, maybe I add you another one. The average mwananchi looks at FAO from a very lofty position. And the FAO seems to have remained up there. How can you make yourself more visible at the grassroots level? Thank you. Maybe you pick the two, and we move on to the next.
Okay, thank you very much for the two questions. First, I'd like to say FAO is really known for knowledge management. Most of articles, publications on anything food security, agriculture, fisheries, forestry, most of it you'll always hear people quoting FAO stats, statistics and all that. So we pride ourselves also in capacity building. If we cannot do it as a country, we have our sub-region office in Addis Ababa. They are readily available. If we cannot do it at the sub-region level, we have the regional level at Accra, that's Ghana. And if it really goes very far, then we can always call our colleagues from Rome. So capacity building is also our biggest strength. So anything, training, capacity building, capacity strengthening, FAO is willing and ready, whether it is on fisheries, whether it's on food processing, whether it's on agro-industry development, even waste management, natural resource, forestry, call it anything. As far as concerns natural resources, agriculture, fisheries, forestry, FAO is ready and willing. All you need is call upon us, and we will call the right people if we cannot do it ourselves. When I say ourselves, it's me and my colleagues in the FAO Kenya office. The other one, I know when people hear FAO, they hear we are UN. They think we are very far from them, but we are very, very reachable. I wish the CEC was here, should tell you. Our former country representative was very hard, Nakuru at heart. And we supported the, I think it's an agricultural resource center with computers. ATC, the ATC, yeah, I know that. So we are very reachable. What we have to do is call us and we will answer. It's demand driven. Otherwise, as I told you, I know right now we don't really have a direct project in Nakuru, but call upon us when you need us, and I'm sure the office will find a way of reaching out to you and working with you. I've heard people talk about fisheries so much here today, especially the innovators. And we have a project we are working with, we call it the Rome-based agencies. I heard there's a colleague from WFP, so it's WFP, FAO, and IFAD. And IFAD and FAO are working on a project called Aquaculture Business Development, ABD. And with that, if you really feel you need help, call upon us. We'll ask our colleagues from the RBA, we'll call our colleagues from IFAD, and they'll support us and we can reach out to you. So we are not reachable, we are reachable. And for those who would like to contact us, I said my name is Elizabeth Kamau, so just put a dot, elizabeth.kamau at fao.org. That's easy. My phone number is 0722 892 505. I'll be your contact point for any need that you have as far as capacity building, knowledge sharing is concerned. Otherwise, as I'll repeat again, food systems is actually a system approach, and it requires all of us to share what we know, to share what we are doing, and together we'll make it sustainable, resilient, and inclusive. Thank you.
Let's give a hand to Madam Elizabeth. Thank you. They are accessible. Let's reach out. Let's not just stay and complain. Let's reach out to them. Next, we go to any questions for Engineer Musa. And you feel free, if you have any question, you can field, and then we take them in turn. For Engineer Musa. In Isiolo and Wanyoro. What did you say about the maize cobs? Did you say we can make money from maize cobs? Can you tell maize cobs?
Maybe I should start with the solar milk. What was very innovative about it? I want everybody to imagine you have two people. These people can only take either 2 shillings or 3 shillings. So anytime I go into my pocket and I throw 2 shillings, one of them will pick. If I throw 3 shillings, one of them will pick. Then imagine one guy on this side who only takes if it is 5 shillings. I cannot take anything less than 5 shillings, even if you throw it in the air. Now, in the solar milk cooler, we say 2 plus 3 is greater than 5. Yes. How does it become 3 plus 2 is greater than 5? Okay, let's put this man here. He only takes 5 shillings. Let me put another guy, 2 people here. One can take 3, another one can take 2. I go to my pocket, I throw 2 shillings in the air. That guy will take and go with the money. This one cannot bet, only takes 5. Then I get to my pocket, throw 3 shillings. This one cannot take because it's less than 5. This can take. Now, solar energy is like that. In the morning, we don't have any solar. It's too little. So if I have a big machine, it can never work. It will have to wait until it's about midday for it to get the 5 shillings, the enough solar. When it gets to the evening, the machine will not work because the shillings are not yet 5. Solar energy ni kidogo. So our machine is innovative. We use small refrigeration systems. So whatever solar energy is coming, we can take. That is the innovation in there. And you don't have to pay. The other innovation in it, we are using solar energy for cooling. Therefore, you don't need a battery. Our system don't have battery. We take the solar and make ice. Then you can use this ice at our leisure when the milk comes. That's the innovation. Maize cobs. But the innovations also is a good thing. This Nakuru Living Lab innovations is exciting because it comes with own challenges. So when we installed the milk cooler in Wanyororo, the cooperative hired a contractor to redo the floor because they needed sanitation, put tiles. So we were called and told, wamekorogea mashini chini. Wamekorogea mashini chini. You have to go back and uproot it. The Isiolo one, you are called at midnight. What's up? There was a lot of wind, and we cannot see 2 panels. They are missing. So it's exciting. I like to work with this. When you're doing innovations, it's exciting. You saw the dryer. This was motivated by 2 things. 2 things. One, we have a problem with the aflatoxin in our grains, maize, and we are saying we have a problem with energy. Where do we get the energy? So we followed it up. We found that, I mentioned this, the maize cobs we throw away when we thresh the maize is enough to dry actually the maize, and some will remain. That is one motivation. The next motivation was where the machine is working now. He had a very big space to dry his product. Then one day, the investor came and said, I want to build and go down here. So he came and said, I have no space to do the drying. And the dryer was born. This is an exciting place to be. And I think everybody is welcome on board. We have more machines. We have feed mixers. We have Sukuma Week choppers. We have chaff cutters. Contact Uganda University, contact Texas, and we'll be able to help you.
Let's give a hand to Dr. there. I don't want to advertise him or to say that he's doing wonderful innovations. Look for him. I'm glad Wanyororo has benefited. Lara, get there. And many others. He's doing so many things. I see a hand up there. Yes. But 2 plus 3 cannot be greater than 5.
Thank you very much. My name is James Maina from Green Thumb CBO. And I wanted to ask engineer if, since from us who are fish farmers, we have a major problem with fish feeds. And if one, say, has a concept or an innovation that borders on some of the ideas you've given us, how is the process if we want to actualize on this innovation maybe? What are the steps that we would need to take maybe to work with you to actualize on such an innovation?
Take it up, Doctor. Another one, okay.
Thank you. Mine is also like that. Being a fish farmer from Hot Spring, I also wanted to know how we can do the innovation on feed producing using the locally available materials. We can need some machinery so that we can be able to make the food pellets, also to make them float in water. So my question was, how can we collaborate with them to assist us in making the feed machine in order to make the feeds for our fish?
Thank you. Let's take those 2. I think the other questions you can always, we'll take 3, I think. And then Dr. is not going away. I think we can catch up with him on more questions after that. Yes, Madam. Please, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Mildred Day from Greencom. My question goes to Madam Elizabeth. You've told us about the projects that you have in Kiambu, in Kisumu, and the food systems, and you see our organic products really marry with what you're doing. And our main challenge is reaching out to farmers or the groups that you're working with that can use our products. How best can you link us with those you're working that can be a good market for our product? Thank you.
Thank you for those. Engineer Musa, can you take those quick ones and then very briefly, please. And then please feel free during the lunch break, we'll pick up a lot of discussions, and I like the engagement on issues of innovation. Thank you.
Okay. On the first question is the process, how to get in touch and help the community or the farmers involved in aquaculture. And this is more on how to get in touch with us. So there is Egerton University. We have a whole division of research. Once you know what you need as a group, probably you even don't know exactly what you need. You talk to the division of research. They know they have a whole list of consultants. If it's engineering, it will come to our desk. Then we'll visit you and we agree on how we are going to approach your problem and what you need, and then how we make the machine from there. So you come to the university, research division, what is it that you need? They will quickly identify, we need the experts probably from animal science and engineering. We put that team together and we provide a solution. It may not be instant. If we have something existing, it will be instant. If it is not existing, we go through the innovative way and we get the product to you. That's for the first question. The next question is processing of animal feeds for fish. And I think we can provide the hardware. We can provide in terms of we make the hardware, because what we need is just pelletizing machine, which you can do is a simple machine. But I'm also happy that what we saw here in terms of there are people dealing with the BSF, they're getting the LAV for protein. We get that protein, we dry it, mix with other ingredients recommended by the nutritionist for fish. Then we dry, and then we make the pellets for the fish. This we can do under the Nakuru Living Lab. We can do this. It's possible. We just need to get in touch with one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer. Madam Elizabeth, can you link us up?
Send me a text or even an email, and then I would link you to the people dealing with the urban food systems project. That is in Nairobi and Kisumu, because I know they are looking at peri-urban and urban agriculture, and I'm sure the organic products will go a long way, especially in supporting food safety components. And thank you very much. Actually, what our colleague has said here, looking at the presentations that were made here today, and what our two friends are asking here, all those things are linked. The same of how we are talking about organic food is actually what goes preparing the food. And I'm sure even the BSF, the black, it's called the black hole. Yes, and cricket and all that, we're all going to prepare the new system. So it's all tied in. It's a whole system. Talking to each other will help you realize who can feed into food and who can gain from who. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Elizabeth. I'm sure they will be looking for you, those contacts. And we're glad she's here. So let's start that journey. Egerton, those who need to contact Egerton for innovation, the email is dvcre, dvc, small letters, dvcre at egerton.sc.ke. If you just write that, it will land on his desk, and Professor is here, is the vice chancellor. He will direct it to wherever it needs to go. So technology makes it, you don't have to come. Just send mail and they will pick it up. Thank you so much. In the interest of time, I'll move to Buenos Aires Mugwa. You heard from him. And, any question for Buenos Aires? My question is, Buenos Aires, urban agriculture. Do we have an agriculture policy in place? Any other questions? Maybe you take that one, we can pick up the others.
On the policy, the simple answer is no. Our policies are more or less still restrictive in terms of what we are able to do. That's also another avenue for us to innovate and the Nakuru Living Lab. Something I can mention about what engineer said, and a lot of the fisheries people. What do fish love? Earthworms, right? Are you able to do vermicomposting? So as a byproduct, you'll be able to get the worms. You're able now to make additional feeds for the fish. The other thing is now, Dagmar talked about technology, and within now circular cities, you're able now to take advantage of technology, whereby some of the policies are able now to adapt to what is going on. The agricultural policies may be a bit backdated, but you may take advantage of policies that are a bit advanced. For example, you know ICT changes a lot. So you're able to take advantage of that to make solutions around machine learning, artificial intelligence, so you're able to properly track your value chain. So yes, there is another aspect of policy integration and how to take advantage of different policies now to make now advancement within our food systems.
Thank you, Buenos Aires. So, but push, we need a lot of lobbying to get that in place. Online participants, you out any questions online for any of the presenters? Okay, I trust they are following, and we move on to questions for Ruminate. Brahma. Any questions for Brahma with the Ruminate? Yes, the microphone is coming. And as the microphone goes, Dagmar, I think my question was, how accessible are these technologies for the smallholder farmers? Are they just for the big players or and the extended ages as well? Yes, please.
Yeah, my question is that you talked about software for formulation of feed for dairy cows. How accessible is that software, especially for the CBO members? On top of that, maybe you can clarify whether in your formulation you considered the aspects of locally available material in those specific areas, or how do you go about it? Thank you so much.
Any other question for? Oh, Johan? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Please.
It's not a question. It's just to capture the moment. I think it's very important to make everyone attending this nice period of the debate. Actually, that's a function of the Living Lab. So what I truly hope and believe that you can keep this kind of dialogues also after the launch event. So when somebody wants to explain a function of a Living Lab, it's always very difficult. It's an abstract system. But exactly the debate you are doing now with exactly these partners, that's where all we have aimed for since very long. So just to keep the moment in memory and proceed like that. That's the only small contribution I like to give.
So much. So, Professor, next year we want to come back and review progress. Back. Great. Okay. Dagmar, please.
Yes, thank you so much for the questions. To start with your question, the pilot that we did during this year, we did it at medium and large scale farms. The reason for that is if you make an impact over there, you make a big impact. If you improve the milk production over there, you really improve the milk production locally. And the second reason was that indeed we have been visiting these farms with consultants. They were animal scientists, they had background in dairy, and we really believe that if you want to feed your animals and you want to feed them properly and reach high milk productions, it is very important that you have knowledge about dairy nutrition. So, of course, if you want to get a consultant to your farm, you have to pay something for him or her helping you out. So what we always say, of course, small-scale farms can also be taught, and they can also be given a good diet, a good balanced diet, but maybe it's better to do this via cooperatives. So via the LARE or one of your rural dairy cooperatives, you can make smaller groups of dairy farmers who are keeping the same breed of dairy cows and are producing similar types of feedstuff, and you can create a basic diet together. That was the advice that we would give, to invite a dairy consultant to improve your diets on farm. That's the first one. Then the Rumen 8 tool, it is free, so you can just download it online. You can Google rumen8.com, you will find it, but you can also find it via Kausoko. This project, this piloting, was via SNV, the Dutch Development Organization, and with this pilot, we created a feed library with 230 dairy feeds, which are available over here. So if you download the normal Rumen 8 tool, you will get the feed library with the feeds which are available in Australia. But with SNV, we made this feed library accessible for everyone, so also in East Africa. And during the past years, many consultants have been trained, both in Kenya, but also in Ethiopia and in Uganda. So I hope with this I answered your questions. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dagmar, for those responses. Let's try this out. Let's look at that feed library and see how best it fits. Maybe we know something they don't know, they can build into their library as well. Thank you. Allow me to recognize the presence of some of our APA representative. APA representative is 2 minutes. Really appreciate. From the micro enterprise support no keywords, big actions. Thank you. Karibu. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Peter Magina from AP Insurance. I work in agricultural industry, and we do insurance of crops and livestock. Imagine being in the industry, you have your livestock, then your livestock, you lose your livestock because of just, let's say like petty issues such like diseases, and you only need to pay maybe a premium of around 2,000 for you to insure your livestock of around 100,000. Does it really make sense for us? Then you have also crops insurance. You have your wheat farm. You say like you have wheat farm of around 100 acres. Then you have to insure. All of a sudden the disease comes or fire and then it burns the whole wheat. Now you have corn for arrows. That is another issue that we need to take in as serious farmers within the region. Then in case you need an insurance product based on APA insurance, you come up, then we can organize and I give you the cover. The cover is just simple, whereby you come, we do the quotations based on your products, be it livestock or crops. Then once have given you the quotation, you agree with the terms and conditions. Then once you agree with the terms and conditions, you pay the premium. then we insert the cover. In terms of crop, we do inspection first. There is something called pre-inspection. Then we come to mid-inspection, then post-inspection. So after that, if in case you have got a claim, based on the premium you've paid, we shall compensate you. But in crops, every region has got its own rates. Like you can't compare people who grow wheat in Molo, Narok, or Bali with people who grow the same wheat in Laikipia. Each region has got its own premium rates. But based on livestock farmers, like the dairy farmers, for you to come up with good biogas, you need to have also a healthy livestock. Whereby, in livestock, we are doing a flat rate. If at all your livestock is, let's say, 50,000, you just do 4% of the livestock, which comes to 2,000 bob. Then your livestock is covered for the whole. The premium is just one for the whole year. And what is covered in livestock? First, if at all your livestock during calving down dies, APA is going to pay you. In an event where any disease kills your livestock, we are going also to pay you. In an event where the snake bites your livestock, we are going to pay you. Or in case there is a theft, but theft is much tricky, whereby we are not covering those areas prone to theft areas. Within the Nakuru region, we are covering theft, but there are certain areas that you are not doing currently. Then when it comes to crop we are covering, things we are covering under crop is drought, pests and diseases, but under pest, kindly note, under pest you are not doing locust. I need to be much specific on that because we are all farmers, and then locust is a national disaster. So that one is an exclusion under crop insurance. And also, we shall cover also fire, excessive rainfall, then windfall. Hailstone we also cover. Previously, we have been having an index-based, the program that has been going around for smallholder farmers, whereby the government pays 50%, and also the client or the smallholder farmer pays 50%. So in an event where your premium, you are supposed to pay a premium of, let's say, 20,000. The government pays for you 10,000, then you only pay 10,000. Which has helped a lot of most of the smallholders farmers within Nakuru region. And Nakuru region is an area which is much productive based on agriculture industry. And why is it coming up with the Nakuru Living Lab launch? It's because for you to have good biogas, for you to have good crops production, you need to have security. So insurance comes in as a security for your livestock, because once your livestock dies today, you will not manage to produce biogas. That is another issue. Fish, there is a way also we can come up with that manure which will produce some of the feed to feed the fingerlings in ponds. For me, I believe the innovative, inclusive, it is a better alternative, and we are going places as much as the county is aware and as a region. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's give him a hand for that. Let us insure our livestock. Let's insure our crops. And there's an opportunity for cover. Before I invite Bwana Geoffrey, may I please appreciate for locking you there for a while. Karibuni sana. Thank you. Let's give them a hand for you keep time.
Thank you. My name is Godfrey Nyangori. I work for Micro Enterprise Support Program Trust. And I'm happy to be back home because I can see so many of my friends here. From Dr. Udoto, Professor Debe, Tom, Kamau, the people in Lare, the young man from the Green, Sam. Yeah, it's so many people that I can recognize, and the chief guest today, Bwana Kibet, whom we have worked closely. Oh, yeah. So my organization is a development organization that is in poverty reduction. And very quickly, just to mention some of the key areas that we are in market access, where we specifically work with smallholder farmers to just be able to make sure that the market works for the poor, and especially because of the disintegrated nature of the markets at the local level. Our intervention is we look at the market and be able to work backwards to be able to ensure that we understand what the market demands and then work with the farmers to be able to meet the requirements of the market, both in terms of quality and safety. The other area, and that just before I leave that, we do quite a lot of supporting farmers to be able to access markets, including international markets through certification, working with the private sector, lead farm or SMEs to build their capacities so that they can be able to obtain from farmers. And we also work in terms of supporting the smallholder farmers to be able to build infrastructure around building their market, to aggregate their produce, to be able to take to the market. The other area that our organization work in is access to finance, and mainly our focus is all self-financing. So we work with microfinance institutions where we lend them so that they in turn can lend to smallholder farmers. And the other is green transition, and I think it's very much in terms of what we are discussing today. And we ensure that, that along the value chain, all the players within the value chain use environmentally sustainable means. And the last one is on productivity and food safety, where we believe the two go together. We work very closely to ensure as farmers produce, they meet both quality and safety. And in my organization, I'm in charge of part of the productivity and food safety sector. And we work very closely with the county government. And I think through Nakuru County, we've done quite a lot, supported coming up with policies, and especially policy in food safety. We have also supported policies. We are supporting policy on training, that is agricultural, technical, vocational training. We've supported quite a lot in terms of setting up the Nakuru ATC to be able to provide that kind of training and extension services to farmers so that they can be able to produce sustainably. I can talk and go on and on about what we've done together with farmers. I know Lare, Joro Cooperative, we already working with them, and a host of another. And very key in terms of the discussion today. In fact, one of the reasons why I came late was I was in the UN Food Summit System, where we were discussing about what Elizabeth talked about, and this discussion are still going on. And then number two, I think we also have a like-minded, and I'm grateful to Egerton, who have significantly contributed to what we are doing today. They have helped come up with the curricula that has made sure that we move away from knowledge-based kind of training to competence-based education and training. They have also helped us come up with standard assessment guides and standard operating procedures that would be able to enhance production systems in the country. And we are currently working with them on issues of strengthening the institutions that support training in Kenya, and specifically a number of ATCs where they are supporting the assessment. And we also work, I think, with the UN, not UN, the FAO, where they are part of our like-minded partners in terms of food safety. And together we normally support the food safety discussions in the country, and a number of things that we can be able to discuss. So those are some of the things that we do. And my email or contact is gnyangori at mest.org. And my phone number is 0729 370043. Thank you.
Thank you. Bwana Godfrey, nashukuru sana for that presentation. And our partners, Ngori has ni mtu wa wakulima. Mtafute, shika mkono, atakupeleka mbali. In Lare, those of you in Lare, that is part of his work. He was there on the ground, and many other things he did with Mtakatifu Clara. Keep up the good work, and so let's take advantage of those opportunities with Micro Enterprise Support Program Trust, because they're there for us. May I now take this opportunity to Professor Kimurto, I'm told you already. If Professor is online, he can finish up.
Yes, sir.
Please, Karibu.
Yes, my apologies once again, Dr. Udoto, for missing and getting disconnected because of network in the field. I was just mentioning about the Agro Science Park, which we are looking at it as an innovation center for the innovation platform center for the university to link the industry, community, and also what we do in the division of research. Our actually the DVC in charge of the division of research, Professor Bebe, who is a team leader of this project, is the one that has been involved also in some of the innovations we do, which cuts across from the seed all the way to food. So I was starting to give examples of some of the successful innovations that we've had for the last 8-10 years, which have benefited community and has contributed significantly to the inclusion of food and nutrition in the systems. We are working with several counties, starting with our county of Nakuru, which I mentioned as a highland county, and therefore the main innovative activities we work together with has been on nutritive beans, finger millet, and these are not we produce them from the Agro Park, and we contract them so that they also benefit. So we work with more than 400 to 500 farmers now, which they include some of these products we have in their food systems. And they have special traits like good zinc, high zinc content, they don't have gas, and there is an array of legumes, including chickpea, which are good in the rotational system, although not well adopted, but we know as we train our farmers on the need of improving soil fertility, we are very sure that the way canola disappeared in the Kenyan cropping systems for a long time, and it is now back as a rotational crop together with wheat and maize, producing a lot of oil that is highly demanded by the oil industry and the food industry. We are sure that some of these crops like the chickpea will come in because it's very useful and successfully grown in countries like Australia. So that is one of the areas in the thing. We also have ground, Elizabeth mentioned, and we are working, of course, together with FAO. And currently we have communities in the drylands of Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo, Taita, and Turkana. And these are special types of groundnuts that are required for the industry for making high nutritive value crops, products, and they have very good oil content, and they also have vitamin E, which contributes to low aflatoxin levels. And when you look at the results that Elizabeth mentioned from FAO testing from the private sector company, we were very impressed that the breeding component, where it has high levels of vitamin E, which is anti-aflatoxin infestation, was manifested. Of course, apart from the fact that they are grown in the right agroecologies. The agropark also, apart from those in terms of those crop-based innovations, which goes all the way to sorghum or bakery, which is done by some of our colleagues, Professor Jerioto Watch. We've also been looking at how do we reduce drudgery through innovative work. And we've managed to select some varieties that don't require, they are easy to harvest, like the finger millet, easy to thresh, to link with what Dr. Njue talked about in mechanization. So we have some snapping varieties that are able to just be harvested by children and women because you don't need a knife. So those are some of the innovations that are now going into food production systems, and they are good in Sing and I. Also, we looked at the possibility of the food contribution of agropark in the animal food system. And one of the areas which this project, I think the agropark is contribute to this project, is the fish. So we've been looking at fish breeding through the animal science department and colleagues in biological science. And the hatchery that is being established now, being improved, is the one that is producing fingerlings, including the ones that have been hormone reversed, and different species of the fish that are required by the community. And we've been actually supplying up to more than 20,000 every year. For the county, the farming community around Nakuru County, Bahati area, we have several groups, Nakuru North, Soy North, Soy South, are also getting supply of fingerlings from agropark through an innovative approaches of getting the parental materials that are good growth rates. So in this project, I think we can link some of those innovations into the food system of the project. And more recently, the last bit was on the honey. For a long time, using the Chemeron Research Station, producing organic honey. One of the challenges that one of our colleagues has been looking at to see whether it can be commercialized is the rearing of the queens. And I think Masobo, I wish he was there, he can enlighten on this. Because when you look at the drylands and even the farmers, even within the county, we have several groups that are working with us in agropark, together with colleagues in animal science. The colonization percentage is less than 50%. So if farmers have so many hives, the county through the CASA project is funding a lot of groups to produce honey. But out of 100 hives, you may have 30 being colonized. So honey production rather needs to incorporate technology and rearing the queen, because the biggest problem has been the queen, is what we are now, the latest innovative idea that we want to start seeing the possibility of developing a lab breeding for bees, and then see where we can support the communities to be buying colonies together with the queen, and they take it and they colonize their hives. So those are some of the innovative ideas that we have, and I think they can contribute together with the mechanization that you talked about, the shellers, even now in Taita, the shelling of groundnuts, and even the other counties where we started looking high quality will be auto shelling. One bag requires 40 people to shell, but Dr. Njue has actually fabricated a sheller that can do 8 to 9 bags per hour. And we have just seen it even in Taita now. They are very impressed. And these are some of the things that we are doing in Aquapark to link and to improve the efficiency of the food systems. I think there could be quite a number of others, but let me leave it at that. We also have some new products that are coming from research, including biopesticides that can be used to reduce insect pests and diseases. There are also innovative ideas in agroclimatology and also others that are contributing towards productivity and enhancing and also the other encounter you are working with. So that's the Innovative Center to this project. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hello, Udoto.
You're breaking up towards the end, but thank you so much, Professor, for that presentation. Are you done, Prof?
Hello?
Yes, you are breaking up towards the end. Are you
Hello? Dr. Udoto.
I hear
I
you.
think I've concluded.
Thank
Maybe
you.
you've lost me.
A little bit towards the end. Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Can you hear me? I think the technology huko mlimani imekuwa ngumu. So let's give Professor a hand for that.
I'm very sorry for this.
Asante, Professor. And we
so much.
Yes. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, asante. Okay.
Asante. Asante.
So I'm sure watu mko hapa mmesikia mambo ya Tasha, Lalang, Shiangui na mambo mengine mengi, chickpea, pigeon pea. So much is going on through the Agro-Science Park. Na kama mko na maswali, please again, you can get in touch with us through that dbcre@egerton.ac.ke for info. I would like us to now go to the World Food Program representative online. Please, if you are there, maybe remark from you. Food Program representative. Okay, seems like they are not there for us at the moment. I request Koilib to Koilib, please play the video, the virtual video on innovation, values, proposition, delivery, and capture. Over to Koilib. In the meantime, the voting closed. I think the tallies have been done. So we are getting ready to move towards knowing who won in those we saw earlier from your voting and from the virtual voting that has been going on. Koilib.
Hello, everybody. At Greenthumb CBO, our main aim is to help farmers increase their fish production and also produce vegetables. However, at our fish farm, the main challenge we've had is that we have been unable to ascertain the best fish stocking ratios and also the nutrient requirements for the plants we plant in these aquaponic beds in the past. See, the challenge we've had is that our vegetables kept on wilting and the fish that we have die because of what we perceived to be nutrient requirements. So we need to understand the best feeding regimen, and we also need to expand this pond. So we are calling upon all financial companies and all companies that have working aquaponics to work with us to help us make this project work.
Hi, at Greencom, we do organic waste recycling. One of the challenges we are facing is mechanization of our processes. Maize stalks is an example of the crop waste that we recycle. Using a chopper stroke crusher, we can reduce the material size to make composting much faster and more efficient. This will enable us to recycle huge volumes of waste. This is an example of a windrow pile. As you can see, the maize stalks were not chopped, so they will take much longer to decompose. And this is what limits the volumes of waste we recycle. For us to increase the volumes of waste we recycle, we need an electric chopper or crusher, sieve, and a mixer. Greencom is our brand name coined from our group name, Green Community. We produce a full range of organic products, organic fertilizer, foliar, and pesticide. This is our organic fertilizer. It is made purely from agricultural waste using windrow composting system. During processing, we maintain high temperatures of above 70 degrees to kill weed seeds and pathogens to give a quality product to the farmer. This is Greencom foliar. Greencom foliar increases uptake of nutrients by the plant, increasing yields and builds immunity. This is Greencom organic pesticide for pest management and control. We encourage all farmers to use organic products, especially from Greencom. It ensures soil health, productivity, and your health too. I'm at industrial area Nakuru, looking for a machine fabricator for chopper stroke crusher for Greencom machine option. Hi Kevin.
How are you? My name is Kevin Mwangi. Welcome.
We're looking for a chopper to chop the agricultural waste and the crusher for crushing the compost boulders. Do you have that option?
Yeah, of course I have that machine, and it is this one. It is called a chopper or a multi-purpose machine. It grinds both the dry stuff and it chops the green folders. And you only change the seed. You can change this one. You have others like this one. Yes, and even other. As I was telling you, where everything comes in through this entry.
Yes.
And for the greener folder, it comes through this outlet. You just have to remove it. And for the dry stuff, you only change the sieve and it goes through that outlet because it has to go through this perforated sheet.
I see this is a good machine. So how much do you sell it?
We sell it at 40,000 Kenya shillings, and it comes with a single-phase electric motor.
Wow. Thank you so much.
And as we wait for our chief guest today, would like to invite I don't know whether the World Food Program representative is online. If not, then I'll call upon any comment on the floor to or for a question that was outstanding so that before we move to the next session, where we are going to be moving to the awards presentation. And the awards presentation will be first, the logo, Nakuru Living Lab logo design competition, which was plotted online and open for the best logo design. And so the selection has been done, the evaluation has been done, and there is a winner that will be awarded today. Johan, you had a question? Johan?
Sorry for keeping active, but I'd like to come back to the point Jeffrey had mentioned with this organization. And what we realized that the organization Jeffrey is representing is very complete, very well established. So I would like to see his opinion how the Living Lab is of added value to his daily works. That I think would enrich the comprehension of all of us in the Living Lab development quite a lot. If you can allow a few seconds to this point and let Geoffrey speak, I think that would be very helpful.
Geoffrey? In the meantime, may I welcome the CEC, Agriculture and Livestock, Nakuru County. Karibu sana, Daktari.
Thank you. I think the work that is happening at the Living Lab launch is to the work we do at MEST. I've just seen some of the great innovations, some of them touching on greening, waste management, circular economy, and I think we can take this conversation up and look at some of those groups and see how we can work together, and especially with regard to the circular economy discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That question. I think now we'll move on to the award presentation. As I was saying, the logo completed, and just completed to present to develop the logo for the Nakuru Living Lab, and based on the criteria provided, the winners have been identified, and so we will get to know them today. And the other bit is the most inspirational innovation case initiative. Remember, we had 8 presentations today, and they were being voted on by various individuals, both here and on social media, and so we'll be able to recognize those that also were able to be voted as the best innovation and the best inspirational enterprise today. That is not to say the others were not inspirational, but there is always somebody who will come on top, and there are others who will follow, but all of us have done a commendable job looking at the innovations we've seen today. It's a great job that is going on in the county. So may I take this opportunity to invite Professor Boklin Bebe to take us to the next session. Karibu, Professor.
I want to thank you again for bearing with us till this time. We are in the end of this session, so thank you very much. At this moment, we have been honored by the county government. The Chief Officer Agriculture is here, together with the CEC, and they will be gracing the launching of this as we come towards the end. The event master has talked about awards. As they write the name, so that the Waziri will read it correctly, I want to invite the Chief Officer to make few remarks. But by the time he finishes, to invite the CC, the names would have been written, and the CC will read the names correctly. Thank you. Chief Officer, kindly.
The organizers of this meeting, Jatun University, all the participants present, good afternoon. I also want to recognize the presence of my boss, Dr. Immaculate Minor, and to thank her most sincerely for coming at the right time, because this was going to be a day to make sure that we conclude this, what we have been discussing here, in the right way. In agriculture, because I came in when you were discussing, we didn't come at the beginning, but what I caught is actually what is in our programming in agriculture. In agriculture, we are two chief officers, one in charge of livestock and fisheries, and I'm the one in charge of crops. In our programming, we normally do our programming based on our county integrated development plan. And the current development plan, we have got 3 major programs going on. That is the program in pyrethrum production, avocado production, and animal disease control. And then we have small sub-programs. These programs are going to end next year. Then we enter into another new programming for the 2022-2027. And it is going to be very good if the ideas you have been discussing here find their way into our new program, so that together as a county we can see ways and means of implementing all that we have discussed here. In my conclusion, I saw a few videos of those innovators, more so about the Greencom developing organic fertilizers. We are planning for a devolution of counties conference next month. And this morning we had a meeting. And we are looking for young innovators, people who have done innovation in agriculture, so that we can see how to sponsor those innovators to grace the occasion during that devolution conference. And I was seeing Greencom being the people working in this county. It will be very good. We can have them showcasing what they've done in this county. So maybe as we go forward, we'll see how to sit, how to conduct them. We have a discussion, and then we make arrangement and see whether we can give them some 2-3 days to grace the occasion and showcase to the rest of the counties what they have done. I think it's a way of also marketing their innovation. Don't you think so? We are not limited to the young innovators. We are also looking for innovations from our academia and the research centers within Nakuru County. So, Professor, if you have such innovations, we also welcome you to come forward. We see how to take those innovations to the conference and show to the rest of 46 counties what Nakuru is doing. Because we take each other university as our university within our county. I don't want to talk much because my boss is here. The way we are arranged in our department is that she does the policy, I do implementation. So let us now hear from her. I want to take this opportunity to welcome our Chief Executive Committee member for Agriculture, Dr. Immaculate Maina. And she has just come from another meeting. And sorry, Wasiri, we could not even give you time to rest. But Kasi, ni karibu.
Before she takes the mic, I want to guide the award that we are going to present. We are giving 2 awards. One for the logo design. We floated this logo design sometimes last week, and it was virtual. People have competed, and the team arrived at the best. The best, Madam Waziri, I want to show you, is that one, huh? The extreme. So that's the award, the winner. And this winner is called Mark Nderitu. Mark Nderitu, we are told, is a student at Kenyatta University. This morning, we are told he's doing exam, so he's not with us. Mark Nderitu, we are not able to reach him, but he has won the gold award. I don't know who will pick for him. Yona, pick for him. That award is accompanied with 20,000 K for the art and for giving us all the rights to use this. So as we use it, he's already given us all the IP rights. Stay there. We have second and third. We are giving bronze and silver award, which I think we will also give. Kelvin Chege. They're not here, I think. They seem to be students. They're participating online. I think they're students somewhere. And then the third silver award is Steve Muturi. It's okay. Now we come to award for most inspirational innovation case. Most inspirational innovation case with Waziri. This has been online. We closed it, I think, 1:30. All over people have been voting based on what they saw. Based on that highest voted, we'll be giving award. Bronze goes to Green Vision. This comes forward. Green Vision come for they get the bronze award. This is a team. This group are dealing with clean seed potato somewhere in Elbagon. Award, Resect. Silver award goes to Resect Research are dealing with waste. They are turning waste into fertilizer, into feed. They are feeding, I think, growing black soldier fly. Now, for the winner, I want to ask Koilit, can you show the graphs? The winner, I'm proud to announce,
Green, please come forward. Congratulations to Green.
This young team are dealing with aquaponics. So they win, and what that award means is that they will select a learning journey of their choice, which we will sponsor. They will also advise, mentor, and a coach. It will begin. We want it August. It should not go after August. Madam Waziri, may I now invite you to make your closing remarks and declare this launched Living Love Nakuru.
So Professor Bebe and the whole of the Egerton University team, the team from Wageningen University, I can see my colleague here. I don't know how to read that word. Refuture. Okay. The IKEA Foundation, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon again. Allow me to make a shout out to a special friend. Please. I went to school with that gentleman in Germany many years ago. Thank you. And now works in Wageningen. Thank you. So again, good afternoon to everyone. I must say I'm very delighted to be here today, Professor Bebe. Thank you for the invitation. And even before I come to my remarks, I want to appreciate all the young people in this room. Very often, many of the meetings that I attend do not look anything like this. Because in the farming community, you find that many of our persons in the agriculture sector are persons that are a little bit older than what I can see in the room. So to all the young people in this room, congratulations and thank you for coming to work with us in the agriculture sector. I declare that beyond the gold, the silver, and the bronze, you are all winners. Going forward, allow me to just make a few comments from the perspective of the county and the work that we do and how we see this project talking to us and supporting what we do. First and foremost, I want to say that Nakuru County is one of the largest producers of food in this nation, food and fodder. In fact, we produce 40% of the national basket for food when you put everything together. And therefore, as a county that produces so much food, we're very keen to look at technologies that can continue to help us to do better. I see everybody in this room and the innovation and creativity you've brought, and I want to say thank you again. Looking at the project, the Nakuru Living Lab, I also want to say thank you so much to the organizers for choosing to work with Nakuru County. Nakuru County, in addition to producing a lot of food, is also the county has the most progressive environment for business in Kenya. And as you all know, for those that keep up with the news, our governor, Honorable Kenyanjui, recently won the African Award for the best governor in the continent of Africa. So as a county, we are very progressive in supporting activities that are progressive to the communities that we serve. And as I stand here today, I am most impressed by what I have seen. And while I was in another meeting, I spent a few hours on the road, and I was able to join the virtual meeting, and so I was able to listen to some of the conversations virtually. When I looked at what was presented, the matters of waste management, enhancing our animal feed systems, support to the dairy industry, tree planting, including the potato seed system, fish farming, I am very impressed because all these things speak to our county development plan. And we do have specific areas that we put specific interests in. Allow me to start with that which you're already doing. In the matters of aquaculture, we are very, very keen to continue to produce more fish. And therefore, the project that is working on aquaculture and fish farming is one of those that we shall continue to work with within our county Department of Fisheries. The department that I lead has 4 units. There's crops development, there's livestock production, veterinary services, and aquaculture or fisheries. Our fisheries subsector in Nakuru County is quite large and very robust. As we all know, we also host one of the largest internal lakes, Lake Naivasha. And we continue to work closely with the fisher folk and also with aquaculture systems. And so I welcome that group to join hands with us as we continue to grow our fish farming systems. It is an area of emphasis for this county. It's an area that we shall continue to develop, and it's an area that we shall continue to support. On matters of dairy farming, that was covered by Lare and Wanyororo, our dairy subsector is one of the top earners in the country. In fact, it's a top earner in terms of agriculture economic support for the county of Nakuru. We have 26 active dairy cooperatives, and we continue to support them, and they have formed an umbrella called the Nakuru Union of Dairy Cooperatives. We continue to work around this, and we will continue to support Lare and Wanyororo. Professor Bebe, I must confess, this is an ongoing activity. The county has worked with both Lare and Wanyororo, and so what you're doing totally is in synergy with what we as a county are doing. We've given equipment, we've given support training, and we shall continue to do so. So again, we are well aligned to the Nakuru Living Lab. On the matter of waste management, and especially when thinking about waste management around the markets, it's exciting. It's come at a very because as you all know, we are expecting the city charter in the coming month. Nakuru is no longer Nakuru municipality, it is the city of Nakuru. So given that, as a city, we continue to innovate around our waste management systems. And so I see great opportunity for the persons that are working around matters of waste management as we move forward with the city and as we continue to support ourselves to do better. So I want to say that as a department, we're very well equipped to support each one of you here present and those that are watching us from home. We have a technical team of 322, and that is a technical team across all the departments. These are very highly trained persons from diploma level up to PhD level, and they are very, very keen to support our farmers on the ground. With that technical team, I want to say that we work very closely with our farmers in the grassroots. So now look at the 3 wheels that are around the Living Lab, that is the users, the enablers, and remember the third one. Users, enablers, and the doers. Allow me to start with the doers. The doers are all of us, really, right? We are all doers. We are all doing what we can within our spheres of action to give the best that we can. Then we have the enablers, including academia, private sector, and so on. On the matter of the enablers, as a department, we have been able to bring together everybody in the landscape. We even have a formal MOU with Egerton University signed by the Vice Chancellor. We continue to work closely with all other partners in what we call a stakeholders forum that meets every quarter, and also what we call the County Agriculture Sector Coordination Mechanism, where every actor in the agriculture sector meets once in a while and we speak about what we are doing and how we want to do it better. The enabling environment that I speak to also includes policy. Working closely with the Department of Cooperatives, we now have a youth enterprise fund by the County of Nakuru that is already signed off by the governor, and we look forward to putting a large amount of money into a system where youth like yourselves, these group members, could borrow money at a reduced rate and commercialize good ideas in the County of Nakuru. Secondly, we also have what we call a Cooperatives Enterprise Fund. And this is a fund that will also support cooperative societies to be able to do better in service to their communities. From agriculture side, we have gone on to try and create a policy environment that supports most of what we are doing. We have a policy on food safety. And again, I want to say that we've worked very closely with MEST. With Godfrey is here. They have supported us to develop a policy on food safety. And I want to say that Nakuru County is the only county in Kenya that has been able to come up with that policy yet. The food safety, together with Nyandaro. We are the pioneers of the agenda. Then we have gone on to do a policy on agri-food systems to try and support our nutritional status. We've gone on to do work around plant health and the health of crops in the field. We've gone on to work around in the agriculture sector. These policies are supposed to support us to do better in service to the communities that we serve and to help us to do better. And looking at what the Living Lab is giving us today, I see opportunities that will take us to a higher level. We continue to work with various other partners, including the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and we have had interactions with many other embassies to see how better we can do this. So beyond the international community, the NGO world, the faith-based organizations, other donor agencies, we as a county also generate our own income to support our own activities. And so as we sit here today, I want to tell everybody here in the room, you have space to work with the government of Nakuru, you have space to work with the Department of Agriculture, and in the Department of Agriculture, we keep an open door policy, so you don't have to make an appointment. Whenever you're in town, you just walk in. You can come in anytime, and we can talk about whatever challenge that you're facing or whatever good innovation that you'd want to share with us. So ladies and gentlemen, with those very many remarks, allow me to now declare the Nakuru Living Lab officially launched. Asanteni sana.
We come to the end of launching the Nakuru Living Lab. What is ahead of us is a lot. Is when now we start working. Is when now we have to work together. Is when now we have to solve our problems together. Innovate around them so that this journey towards transforming the Nakuru food system tempo will be maintained. We thank all of you. We thank all of our partners that found time to come with us, and we want to ask you to continue working with us. The academia, the industry, the finance team, Everybody else, thank you. God bless you. We'll come back to you. These individuals, the 8 cases, everybody that has given an opportunity, contact them directly. There's no gatekeeper. Go to them directly for what you need. That's the sense of bringing them here. That you take the initiative towards working with them. To that end, we have lunch, which will be served down here. We want to ask any volunteer within here, kindly close with a prayer, same time pray for our late lunch. Anybody in the... You're coming, eh? Okay.
Let us rise for prayer. Our Lord and our God, because of your majesty, we want to thank you this afternoon because of your goodness to each and every one of us. We want to thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for the beautiful session that we have had today, even to interact and even to discuss issues that affect agriculture in our county. Thank you for all that have participated. Thank you for all that have contributed in one way or another. Mighty Father, we honor you because of each and every one of them. Now, at this point, as we come to the end, we have a plate of lunch, and we want to pray that you may bless it even as we partake of it. Mighty God, even as we travel back to our homes and to our places of work, we want to pray that you give us journey mercies wherever we shall be. Father, we thank you and we honor you. In Jesus' name we do pray and believe.
Amen.
Amen. And now may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now
and forevermore. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, as we leave, those of us from the 8 initiatives, please make sure that you see Pauline. She needs to discuss 1 or 2 things with you. The rest of us, we shall be contacted individually. Thank you so much. Enjoy your lunch.